What's up, YouTube? Tony Peck here, Godfather of Instagram and co-founder of Why Not You Media and Why Not Print. And I am excited to be bringing this episode to you guys because it is another social media talk. And the things I love about these talks are it's a free flow talk that I do for about 45 minutes, and I drop so many tactile strategies and tips in these talks that I think can provide so much great value to so many of you, especially the Q&A part of all these talks when the guests that are listening are asking very specific questions that end up helping out so many other people in the audience. So this specific talk was actually me and my business partner, Fran. We spoke at one of our clients, Joseph Cosentino, the broker and owner of Morris Park Realty Group, to his team of realtors. So very excited to be sharing this one with you guys. But before that, I just wanted to give a very special thank you to each and every single one of you that have subscribed, shared, commented, liked, and showed love to this channel. It is so appreciated. And for those that have not done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button below to show your support and appreciation of the channel. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. Everything we've been able to build has been purely through social media and leveraging the platform strategically. And this cannot get done, though, without his wife, who's the real boss. Let's give her a round of applause. She makes a lot of stuff behind the scenes happen for us, too, when we work with them.
Every successful man
there you go.
is a very,
this is true.
Yes.
So for you that don't know us, we are the co-founders of Why Not You Media. My name is Tony Peck, I'm also known as the Godfather of Instagram. Besides my business partner, Francis Volpe I.
Not known as anything.
You're silent, which is good.
So we own a Forbes accredited social media marketing agency. The last 3 years we've been featured in Forbes for what we do. And the whole point of this talk today, we're going to teach you guys the importance of social media, especially for being in real estate, right? And everything that we're going to tell you guys is what we've seen and experienced that's helped us have our success with our own business. So because of social media, we're going to cut to the chase here. I have a degree in mechanical engineering. Fran has a degree in business. We obviously not on those career paths anymore because of social media. You know, we've been flown over the country to speak, to California, down to Florida. We've been flown for content. We've been featured on Yahoo, Entrepreneur, Forbes, the list goes on. All because of social media. I grew up in the Bronx. I've known Joe for a while, just from the neighborhood. So everything that's happened to us has been purely because of what we've done with a free app. Mm-hmm. And luckily, because of that and the hard work we put in, we now have a team of 13 people. One of our great guys behind us is Nate, the camera guy. He's fantastic. So we've been able to offer opportunities for other people to be alongside with us as we grow. So that's a little background on the business and what we have. I guess we'll get into, what the opportunity is with social media, what you guys can do with it.
So I guess the first question is, who in here, raise a hand, actually uses social media to generate leads, build relationships, or put out content? Try, okay. So hands, well, we know Joe does because we do it for Joe. Yes. So let me ask, I know right now, have any of you ever tried to do a cold direct message? Do you know what a direct message is? Does anyone know what a direct message is on social media?
Like Instagram.
Yes,
Yep.
like actually, yes.
Yep, there you go.
Yes. Has anyone tried it? Yes?
Yes.
Success with it?
No.
No. Okay, how many of you sent out?
People are like, who are you and why are you sending this to me?
Okay, so it's the same. So it's the same response usually you get when a cold call, right? So I know right now, if I'm not mistaken, cold calling isn't really. It's not allowed right now, right? It's not allowed. Okay, so there's no rule against or law against a cold DM. So something that we teach, and we're going to talk real estate specific. We can obviously get really broad and talk about different industries, but every industry requires a different strategy and approach to social media. So the biggest thing that we talk to real estate agents, and we do this for Joe, so he doesn't have to do it himself, but is actually reaching out to people in direct message. Because the one thing that you have that you don't have with a cold call is tons of information on the people that you're actually trying to message. And what I mean by that is when you go to someone's social media profile, whether it's their Facebook, their LinkedIn, their Instagram, and now the big thing with TikTok, you get a little bit more insight on who that individual is, right? You can find out, were they recently engaged, married, did they go on vacation, did they buy a new car, did they... Pictures. It's right there. It's what they post. Yeah, you actually... So... well, shoot them a follow, but then you have to look for, you have to look for public profiles as well. But the thing is though, when you go on and you access someone's information, right? If you go on, like for example, Tony and I, if you go on and actually take a minute and do your due diligence, just how John and Joe were talking about, and the importance of doing your due diligence when doing research, you can find out.
Because we're trying to interview agents, right? So
Yeah.
as soon as they send something over, I go right to their social media and I pull up everything and I'm like,
Yeah.
he calls me a stalker. I'm like,
But it's the
first.
first. But it's important.
I might think she is fed.
So it's extremely important because, especially now, they say real estate's one of the easiest industries to get into as a young adult out of college, right? Because of social media. But back to the direct message. So a direct message, when you're going to someone's profile, gives you opportunity to learn something about that individual, right? So if you go to my page, you go to Tony's page, and you actually do a little bit of research, you can find out about myself that I played collegiate football, right? Or if you look at Tony's page, he likes cigars, and his sister means the world to him, right? This is information that you have access to, so when you actually go to send a message to somebody, you can mention that in your message. The biggest mistake that we see real estate agents do, loan officers do, it doesn't matter the industry, they're immediately trying to sell on social media, and it's honestly the worst thing that you can do. It's free information, it's a free app, you want to give out free information about yourself and what it is that you do. So when someone gives you access to that information and you use it to your leverage, so if you send something to me, say, hey Francis, I see that you played college football, I love what you're putting out, I love your content, you immediately have my attention because you actually did your due diligence and found out something about me, where most people just say, hey, how are you? Or they use I know, and this is big in the multi-level marketing world, is like, hey girl, or hey my man, or something like that. That stuff doesn't work. It's addressing someone by their first name and actually finding information about them.
Well, just like you guys know, the main way for you guys to build your business as a realtor, as Joe's mentioned, is relationships, right? Now, when you guys were cold calling people, you can't build a relationship on a cold call. It's a straight up solicit when you hit the phone and you're trying to get their business. But now with the DM, you don't have to solicit. The less you solicit, the more business you're going to get. Now you have the opportunity to start off on the right foot by just starting a relationship with someone. So for instance, build something with a level of rapport by using their page. So if you know they have a family and you have a family, you can simply say, you have such a beautiful family, would love to connect. As simple as that. Or ask them a question. Hey, if you're a mortgage broker, right? You can reach out to realtors. How long have you been in real estate? They're going to answer you because they want to talk. People want to talk about themselves. So if you're starting off on the foot of finding out information about them or complimenting them, you have a great chance of actually getting them to answer, to then take that conversation online and taking it offline. And that's where you're going to really make the money because you're going to build a real relationship. Now, most people don't want to do that because it's time consuming. Everybody wants to send out one message and they close a $3,000 deal. That's fucking amazing. Everyone would love to do that, but that's not realistic. Just like in how you guys do cold calling or how you guys are doing any other type of business, it's the same thing online. You have to take the time to nurture that prospect and that lead to get them from lead to prospect to the closing table. But it takes time in between. But you can do this when you're home with your kids, when you're at an event, when you're tired, when you're sick. You have the opportunity to do so when there's so many other things you can't do when you're in those types of your life. When you're tired or you don't feel well, you can't be out and about at events. You can't be shaking hands. You have to be home. But you could use your phone during those times to still connect with people. During the pandemic, obviously a lot of businesses got affected. I know real estate did take a nice big boom. But listen, we have clients in a lot of different industries where they felt the effect of the pandemic hurting them because they couldn't do what they were usually doing to get business. As opposed to us, our network grew during the pandemic because nothing really changed for us. We just sat on our asses a little bit more, but our fingers didn't stop, right? That's why I'm gonna end up fucking carpal tunnels, but that's besides the point. But just being able to have the opportunity to take your phone out and connect with people, but also know more about them, that's your asset right there. Because you guys are selling houses, right? So you can go see someone just had a kid. Well, they're probably looking to upgrade. So use that to your advantage. Say, hey, I had your beautiful kid, and then maybe 8 messages later, you slide that in. If you're looking to upgrade, let me know. I'm here to help. And that's how it goes. So don't think social media is just there as a resume just to put stuff out. It's your opportunity to literally be social and take what you can do online and take it offline to actually build relationships and get the sale.
So the next thing also is social media. You're not too old, you're not too young for it. Right? Obviously, if your kid's an infant or a certain age, you don't want them on social media just yet. Eventually, they're going to get on their own, and you can't really stop that. But there is really no age limit because right now, the world that we are in, content is the most important thing to anything that you do. okay? It's the foundation to what you're going to do online. So when you are releasing content, for example, you guys are in industry, there's a lot of people in your industry. The biggest thing that we see happen all the time, over and over again, is closed deal, on the market, just sold, all that crap all over it's the same stuff over and over and over on real estate's, on their pages, right? But what you're not getting from that is brand, okay? Yes, you can show what you've done, that's amazing, but people work with who they like, know, and trust. That's the truth. And when you put yourself out there and become vulnerable, so I'll just use Joe, for example, something that we do with Joe is that we're putting who Joe is out to the world, right? He can put up the stuff on his story, he's got an open house, this and other thing. Look, most realtors, we know what people do. You watch realtors, right? You all can go on the listing and check how many deals someone has. You all know how much each person makes. We know how it works, right? But when you start putting yourself out there and become a little bit more vulnerable, the ice is broken. That's why the content that you put out is so important, because if you're just putting out the just close, they don't know anything about you. It's generic, it's what everyone else is doing. But now all of a sudden, you show that you love the cook, you love the Yankees, you love the Giants, you love baseball or things like that. Obviously, we recommend staying away from politics if you're in this industry. But the biggest thing is if you're putting things out there, just because you put that out there, you're now creating a connection with a potential person out there, right? Someone might see that you like the Yankees and they hear your opinion on it. And because you're a Yankee fan, they're saying, you know what? I can relate to this person. It's just like when you walk into someone's office and they always tell you the quickest sales tactic is find something, a picture or something on the wall that you can relate to. Oh, he has a kid, he's a Yankee fan, Jet fan, bring up the Jet game last night. You immediately have a connection. It's the same thing on social media, but now you're putting it in front of people's faces. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that people don't realize, it's not just about your cold audience, right? So that's a big thing, and this is something we hit on in every single talk that we do. It's not just about getting in front of new people. It's about getting in front of the people that know you. Because I know every single person in here has probably lost a deal to a friend or family member because they don't remember what you do for a living. It happens more often than you think. And then you're at your family event, Sunday dinner, a barbecue, and you find out your cousin just moved or they just got a loan, and you're like, why didn't you give me a call? And they look at you and go, I totally forgot that you did that. Mm-hmm. And now they feel like an asshole.
But it's your fault.
But it's your fault because you have the opportunity to stay front and center every single day by a click of a button.
Now,
right? Yeah, go ahead.
You may be thinking, sounds like a lot of fucking time. One, it's a little bit of time. Joe doesn't have to spend much on it. We do it for him. Yeah. But he still has to put time into it. And all of you guys, whether you work with us or not, this is what we do and this is what we teach people to do that are entrepreneurs and have businesses. You know, you run your own brokers. That's a lot of fucking time in and of itself, right? You might be saying, I can't listen to this. This is going to consume too much of my time. That's not true. If you guys are already busy, that is what you need to show. That's what you guys are missing that part of. You don't need to create for the part of creating. You need to create showing what you're already doing. So when you're here, this is a story right here. You know, right after you leave here, you do another story. What's up, guys? Just had a great time at Joe Cosentino's little dinner at Enzo's. We learned about X, Y, and Z. That's it. That's content. You just put out content to remind people what you're doing. You know, you guys do 3 open houses in a day. You should post a story of every single one of those open houses. You know, you had a listing appointment, and the listing, you know, whoever the seller is, they ask you a common question you guys get asked all the time. Now, that's not common to the regular consumer. Leave the house, get on the phone, do a selfie video. What's up, guys? A common question I get asked all the time is, can I buy a home without 20% down? Yes, you can. Contact me for more info. That's content right there, just doing what you're already doing. Going out to dinner, going out to networking events, out with the kids. You know, show all of that. We're not saying take the time to step out of what you're doing to create new stuff. Start showing what you're already doing. That's all you have to do. Yep. And then when you want to take the brand to the next level, that's when you hire to create content to layer on top of that. And that's how everything starts to flow for you guys. So it starts small. Because if we tell you guys, listen, you have to go out and start creating new content, you're never going to do it. It's not realistic. We get it. We own a business. It takes a lot of time to focus on it. The only thing you guys have to change now is a habit of thinking, before I do something, is this something I can take a piece of content for?
Yep.
That's all it is.
So the next thing, so brand creates a few things for you, right? It's going to create longevity. It's going to create leverage, influence, and opportunity. Those are 4 things to remember. If you don't remember them, write them down, but they're very important to know, because with brand, you create separation as well from your competition, right? So the biggest thing that people get stuck on is that they're so committed to just their circle of influence, right? But when your brand gets bigger, brand isn't something that like I can give you a statistic and give you something to analyze, right? But what happens when your brand starts growing on social media, you start getting recognized more. People start reaching out to you more. People want to be around you more, right? We've talked to Joe about, we have other clients, ourselves even, where we start getting recognized more. People are picking our brain more. They want to get on more phone calls, meetings, and they remember who you are. Like our job when we first started this business was to be known as the social media guys. Now every time someone refers us, it's, hey, I got to introduce you to our social media guys. That's how we're known. And it's amazing because we leverage it, right? But those 4 things is what brand's going to create. And right now in your industry, there's, like I brought up already, there's a ton of real estate agents, right? And we have this conversation all the time where people got into the industry, they made a bunch of money, but guess what? The market eventually is going to level out. And when it does level out, every single agent that's built the brand and leveraged who they are and who they know is going to surpass and stay relevant. That's another thing that social media will do for you. Keep you relevant. And I know a lot of people are going to think like, well, I don't want to be judged, I don't want to be ostracized, all those different things. Obviously, look, that's something that you have to internally look at. You can be yelled at as much as possible. It's almost like you have to look in the mirror and say, fuck this, I'm going to do it. But truth be told, if you are in real estate, okay, and you do not want to lose deals to competition, social media is your separating factor. There's no doubt in my mind, if you're young, older, mid, it does not matter. If you get on social media and you start putting out content, because it's attention, you're day trading attention every single day. Your job as a realtor, it doesn't matter if you're on the same team, you need to take attention away from her. You need to take attention away from him. That's the name of the game. That's why Joe has hired us, because even though he does all the print marketing, he does this, he does that, he says, you know what, I need to be front and center because right now the internet, we're all on this every single day. Look, my 87-year-old grandmother used Facebook, okay? Facebook is a huge platform as well, your personal side of it. If you do have a business Facebook, it's pay to play. It's very difficult to get the attention that you want, but you should be focusing on like an Instagram or a TikTok or both, or LinkedIn. LinkedIn's another one. LinkedIn, a lot of people have this perception that it's just a professional profile. Believe it or not, LinkedIn right now is almost considered the Facebook of 2008, okay? Where people are on there, you're getting reach like never before. I put out like I think a 5-sentence little thing on LinkedIn the other day, over 1,000 views. I didn't expect that, but that's attention. It's getting my name in front of more people. That's the name of the game. It's attention.
Everybody here have a LinkedIn account? Who has a LinkedIn account?
Who uses the LinkedIn account?
Who uses a LinkedIn?
That's the better question.
Used to like, you know when you post on Instagram, a real post and it says share to Facebook? Instagram used to let you share it to LinkedIn as well. Now it doesn't do that anymore.
Never had LinkedIn.
Yeah, I did it.
Dan
Yeah.
Pena says, you know who Dan Pena is, right?
Yeah.
Yep, $1 billion man.
LinkedIn is the number one, like, if, that's his number one thing, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Don't be a secret agent.
but I don't
Maybe,
do
yeah.
it.
Make sure you guys are
Yeah.
changing. I always tell you on your profiles, make sure that you say that you're a licensed realtor.
Yeah, you're right. Don't be hidden.
Don't
Be
be
Yeah.
hidden from the public.
Yeah.
That's, everyone's looking at your Facebook page,
Yep.
especially your family and friends. Make sure that they know you're a realtor.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Another thing too, guys, you know, if I had focused on 3 platforms, it'd be Instagram, LinkedIn, and I would dabble in TikTok, right? Now this is a lot of time. How am I gonna, and Facebook, dabble in TikTok a little bit if you can. Mess around. Joe does, you know, he throws a few videos here and there, and it's great. But if you gotta pick 3, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Yeah. But I would say Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn would be the 3 platforms to focus on. Now that still takes time to post. So the best plan of attack for you guys, come up with a schedule. You know, I have a schedule on my calendar when I'm dropping my posts every week. And I own a fucking social media agency. And I still do that.
When is
You know?
the best time to post?
Yeah, when is
So
That's based on your insights.
there's really not
Yeah.
a specific strict time to adhere to. Just don't post when people are sleeping. That's it. You know, but be realistic. When are people going to be awake and on their phone? Now, if you guys know your demographic's a little bit older, they might not be awake for as long. Now, a little trick on Instagram is when you drop a post, the most virality part of it is the first 3 hours of the post. So don't post at 10 p.m. because it has 3 hours of really open opportunity, but by those 3 hours, most people are already in bed. So as late as I would post is like a 7 p.m. type of time because people will be on their phones till about 10, 10:30, winding down. You know, and conversely in the morning, I would wait till like 8:39 when people are at work or already in the swing of things. Don't go too early because now people are just getting ready. Just think about how your day goes. And think about the people that you know are following you. How does their day go? Are they very 9 to 5-ish? Do they have kids? Follow their life cycle and post then. And then you test. But like I said, on your calendar, you can put, okay, 7 p.m. Tuesday, I'm going to post on Instagram. This is what I do. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on Instagram. LinkedIn is Wednesday at noon, and then Facebook Wednesday at night. And then I repeat Thursday on Instagram at night, and then Friday for LinkedIn and Facebook. And I rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's not random, because I know I can spend the time to do it, and I copy and paste my Instagram post, my LinkedIn, and my Facebook, and boom, I got my 3 posts out for the week, and I'm done. So that's how I look at it. So you want to keep it in a systematic way for you guys to keep it easier for you to stay consistent. Because if you start this, and you're half-assed where you post 1 week, 3 weeks go by, you post nothing, you post for 4 weeks, 2 weeks go by, you go nothing, it's gonna do shit for you. Nothing's gonna happen, you guys are gonna get frustrated and upset about it.
Yep.
Instead, stick to a committed amount of times you're gonna post on a weekly basis. You don't have to post anywhere more than 3 times a week on the feed. Okay, that would be the maximum I would say to post. So you can do 1, 3 times, the most. At
Maximum,
most.
yeah.
You can do 1 a week, you can do 2 a week. Stick with one of those 2 numbers you can stay consistent with, and do it week in and week out. And don't miss weeks.
On the story or
On the feed.
feed,
Main
feed.
feed. Stories, you can do 5 to 25 a day. Go fucking crazy. I don't care what you post on the story.
those disappear?
Yeah, those disappear in 24 hours. Just listed, just sold, open house, food, dinner, this, that, whatever it is, keep posting.
That's what you only want to do.
Quality stuff.
Yeah,
1 to 3 posts a
quality,
week.
valuable things like that. But the
Yep.
biggest thing that Tony mentioned, if you guys heard that with putting yourself in a system, is consistency. Okay, we can tell you all this until we're blue in the face. Some of you might leave here, start doing it. Social media is not a magic pill. It's not poof, you put up a post and you get a lead. It's not how it works. It's going to take, just how we watch television, right? And you might have had this watch a commercial, I don't know, 150 times before you actually called or bought the product or purchased the service. It's the same thing with social media. We have people that have seen us over the last 5 years that are now reaching out to us, okay? I have my coach that recruited me from college for college football just reached out to me for a website. So it's like, you have to continuously put out content, and eventually, possibly someone's gonna reach out because they've seen you so much. They're either gonna unfollow you, or they're gonna be like, you know what, I've seen this individual and this group of people so many times, I need to work with them. They're everywhere. I can't get away from them. That's the way you have to look at it. And don't think you're being annoying, because no one's gonna know what you do unless you tell them. The biggest thing I hate is I call it the grand opening sign, right? It's people open a new store and they put a grand opening sign and they think people are gonna walk through the door. That's not how it works. If you're gonna get into business, if your plan is to be a real estate agent and your plan is to open up anything, you need to be marketing that you're gonna be doing that 6 months to a year prior. You really do. You have to be building up. And the worst thing that you can do right now, I know the real estate market's still kind of crazy, inventory is low, right? But eventually it's gonna come back. You need to be marketing 12 months out of the year, all year long.
Every day,
every
holidays,
single day.
your birthday, your kid's birthday. There should be no day off on social media. That's the best thing about it too, because you can just do it at your fingertips while you're home. And again, let's get into the holiday part of it, because we're coming into holiday season, and I see so many of these, and these drive me nuts. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, the generic flyer. The same shit that goes around, the cornucopia, from William Ravis, Keller, it's the same fucking shit. Burn that, and instead, this holiday, I want to push all of you guys, do a selfie story. Get on your phone. What's up, guys? Happy Thanksgiving here with my family. Show your family. Just want to wish you guys all a very happy Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Have a blessed day. That's it. But that personal touch is going to be such a separation factor, because every other realtor is just going to post a cornucopia picture. So you got to pick yourselves. Exactly. And another thing, perspective-wise, too, we've been doing this now, it's been 6 years, and now we're getting to the point that we're starting to get more and more business, right? So we do practice what we preach. Like I said, everything that we've done got us to where we are, and that's why we're so passionate about this. But at the end of the day, what I've seen time and time again, we deal with these business owners that have been in business for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and they come to us. I'm gonna give you guys 3 months. You spent 15 years building your business offline. You think 3 months is enough to build your brand from zero to something sustainable to make you money in 3 months. It's not realistic. So I want you guys to all put in your head now too, that it can happen a lot faster online than it does offline, but it's not a magic formula. It's not 15 years crammed into 3 months. 15 years might take 3 years now to build online, but that 3 years is a lot faster than your 15 offline. But it still takes a little time.
Yep.
So that's how you guys have to treat it too, that it's not a quick fix. You're playing it for the long haul. And listen, you guys are realtors. Let's look at social media as digital real estate, because that's what it is. You're putting your flag on the ground in a marketplace online that more consumers are constantly coming to. Just like you guys all had the chance to buy New York real estate back in the 70s for $20 a square foot, whatever it was back then, you would all jump on that because you'd all be filthy rich and none of us would be sitting here right now, right? It's the same opportunity. It's still new. People are still coming on the platform every single day. And the great part about it is, too, that most people in your industry are not taking advantage of it the right way. So if you do start to do that, you're going to start separating and building your brand and putting your flag in the ground and building your building up and up.
So the next thing also,
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I deal with realtors all the time, and Joe will tell you, you know in 3 seconds if a guy knows what he's doing or not. There's guys out there that have mortgage right that know nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy's put on a ton of content. The information he just gave us is not even the correct information.
Yeah.
I got to do it myself because I'm like, these guys have no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
I'm going to hit on that point.
Yeah.
You made a fantastic point, actually. This goes for all you guys, too, with real estate. There are so many people now that you can not know what you're doing in your industry, but you can get online and fake it and make money, which is wrong because it's hurting the people that do know what they're doing, like you guys. You guys know what you're doing. You've been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. But if you're not on social where the attention is, you're going to lose to someone that's been in the industry for 6 months and doesn't even know what the fuck they're doing, but they're where the attention is. Yep.
yeah, but
Did you know you can't do enough pictures? Yep. There you go.
but it's
But
but
it's true.
the greatest example is you can have the greatest.
He didn't even have any part of it.
Yeah. No, it's real. It's so often in so many industries.
You can have
nowadays.
the greatest product or the greatest service in the world, but if no one knows about it, it don't mean shit.
Doesn't mean anything.
That's the honest truth. So another way to look at social media is it's also a referral. It's a place of referrals, okay? So there's degrees of connection. And what I mean by that, for example, so we just actually had this conversation in Joe's office, is that I put up a post, right? I put up a post, I don't know, talking about something with marketing, okay? My friend sees it. My friend tells his aunt. The aunt tells her son. Her son tells her fucking girlfriend's dad. I get a phone call. Where'd you hear about me? Oh, I heard you from my daughter. I'm not going to then ask, how did you hear from me from social media? We just had this conversation, Joe. You don't know who's watching, then telling someone, then telling someone, then telling someone. All of a sudden you get a lead. The person that got that lead does not know 5 degrees before the person saw you on social media.
Yep.
Okay, you don't know where people. It's like unless it's directly in your messages, you don't know where it's coming from. Okay, we just had a meeting. If you guys don't know, Big Joe's and Sons in White Plains, right? They're a very big brand. My family's known for 35 years. Adam is the owner. We walked in there. He goes, "Oh, I saw your post on social media." My family's known forever, but it took him seeing me on social media to email us. Right? You don't know what's actually going to eventually get someone to reach out. So just because you're not seeing things directly in your messages.
And you don't even know on what platform. We were in a meeting once talking about fucking Instagram. This is the craziest thing. I saw this is when I knew LinkedIn was working, by the way. We're in a meeting and we're with one of our clients and this guy comes in, he's an attorney, and the guy says, "Oh, me and my social media guys, this is Tony, your friend." The guy looks at me. "I know you from somewhere." So in my head, I'm like, "I probably fucking Instagram, right?" I'm the Godfather of Instagram. He goes, "I know you from LinkedIn." I'm like, "Motherfucker, there you go." that is my point. That's why you got to be on everything because you don't know where people are watching you and when.
Yep.
And that's the power of it though too, because you don't even if you never told me that, I would never know. But how many times did it happen to me that we don't know about that? That's the rare few times that we have heard, and that's just the power of social. And plus too, it makes you into somebody. Like Joe being on social when he goes to these events, more people are coming around him. More people are attracted to him. Why? Because he's with the times. Because he has attention. People want to ride on that. People want to get around people that have attention. Her brand is next. Don't worry.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead, Donald.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Oh, so and the next thing is that also, so a lot of you in real estate, right, and you want to grow your business and you want to. So I want to get to the opportunity point of the brand, right? So with the opportunities, things like, for example, I'm using Joe's example. We spoke to Joe about this, but you can start now leveraging it to do talks, to do things like getting in front of different people in a different way, right? Because now when you have this brand on social media, and the first thing that people do, and you brought it up, is they're gonna look you up. They wanna see what you're about. If your social media does not match, so if you're up on stage, right, and this happens all the time, we all judge every single day. You're all judging us while we stand up here. It's normal. It's what we do. The first thing when someone stands up in front of you, what are you going to do? Oh, I want to do a little background check. I want to look at their social media. If your social media does not fit what they think of you, you're a phony and you lost them. You're done. You're done, right? So that's important because in your business, in a professional industry, right, there's ways that you can stay trendy if it fits your brand, right? So I want to hit on that. For those,
just story in this today.
yeah.
And then I start, but I'm telling you, you know what I do? I unfollow.
It's terrible, terrible. Now, so fucking great. So,
so much that bother me, I'm like unfollow.
so
I'm like not a good person.
oh, you can't do that. That's fine. You can't be social and social. So we'll say unanimously, you guys all get about 100 messages every birthday, right? Pretty consistently. Okay, that's fair. Okay. Now, a good way to gauge your influence. Now, do you guys answer all 100 messages? I'm not going to ask you because if you don't know them, you don't. Even if you don't know them,
I heart everyone.
do you say thank you so much, Tony? Do you address them by their name?
I do not.
Okay.
All I do is heart the side.
So I'm going to tell you my metrics here the last few years
Thank
since
you.
we started the
That's a
business.
thank you to me.
No, you got to reply to every single person. Now I'm
Yes.
going to tell you why this is very important.
Right in the feed on
Very
the-
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And use their name. Thank you, Joe.
We'll get into
Hands
why
up
you
face.
should answer the comment in a second.
So when we started,
Someone posts on your profile, someone posts a nice,
Yeah.
recommendation or
yeah,
Whatever
you
it
reply
is.
back. Yeah, you
say
acknowledge
thank
them.
you. I know Lindsay, I seen Lindsay do it a couple. Debbie's done it.
Try to answer.
So
Now-
let's hit on that real quick. Let's hit on that. So
You want to answer them.
Yeah.
You want to acknowledge who they are.
Yes.
Thank you, Fran. Thank you, Gina.
Also,
Thank you,
the
Joe.
algorithm.
You want to say their name? Well, I'm saying even text message. I'm saying everything, not even just social. And the reason we say this is, so when we started the business, I've been tracking my metric of how many people reach out to me on my birthday since we started. When we first started, about 100. Next year, 300. Then it was 450. Then it was 650. Then it was 800. This year in May, I turned 27. 1,300 people reached out to me on my birthday. 1,300. I answered every single one of them.
Really?
And then next year I'll have about the same, if
I
not
don't
more.
remember you answering.
I answered you. You go back and say, there you go. See, I know. I already know you ready to message me. See, that's the power though, because people feel special when you're replying back. Like, listen, if I'm gonna say happy birthday to you 5 years in a row, and you don't say thank you back, I'm gonna stop saying happy fucking birthday.
Yep.
It's that simple. Same thing with a DM. Same thing with a comment though.
Yep.
And that's how you guys have to treat it.
Because, so with the comments, the reason why we're so the big thing that you see is a lot of these people they get 10,000, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 followers, and all of a sudden they start getting 2, 3, 4, 500 comments. They stop answering, right? It's a big thing with celebrities. It's a big thing with even influencers and business people, right? You'll see business people that you guys know, they get 4 comments, they never answer, they
even
like
answer.
it, they think they're too big for it. The reason why you answer back is because that person took 5 to 10 seconds out of their life to write something on your page. They didn't have to do that. They did not. They could have put that 10 seconds towards reading maybe a positive comment or something else, or calling their mom, calling their dad, checking in with their daughter or son, whatever it may be. But they decided, you know what, I'm going to write something nice, whether it's an emoji or I love this post for you. So you should do it in return, because what you're showing is that you actually give a shit about what people are saying and your community.
It comes up as an alert anyway.
But some people, but here's what happens, right? This is
Yeah.
what so I just actually did something on TikTok about it. Your ego starts talking. Oh, look at me, I got 100 comments. That doesn't mean dick. It doesn't mean shit. Answer them. Like, who are you not to answer? Because when you do answer, you're building a community and you're showing. So the perfect example, right, I'll just bring up Gary Vaynerchuk, right? So Gary V, he answers almost every single comment possible, whether it's Twitter, YouTube,
And he gets
Instagram,
thousands.
and he says he has to stop after 2,000-3,000 because he sits on the plane or in the car and but the reason why he does it is because social media is not just about going wide, and it comes back to your cold audience and your warm audience. It's not just about going wide, it's about going deeper, right? Because you need to actually take the people that have been following you, been supporting you, and like almost give them a pat on the back for being there for you, right? We have people that have been following us now for 5 years, whatever it may be, who comment every single time, who reach out every single year.
And they'll DM and they'll say, I remember you when you had 10,000 followers. Like, we're fucking like athletes. Like, it's fucking crazy to think about. We're regular people just like them. But they're like, we remember you when you had this many followers. Because they were part of the journey the whole time.
Yep.
And that literally goes back to the first point we made, where you're showing everything you're doing. People now are part of your journey. A part of the journey of you building your business, of you building your brand, of you starting a family. They start to feel like they know you even if they never met you. That is the power you guys have in your hands on social media while building a business. And the more people know about you as a person, the more business you're going to generate.
They're going to feel comfortable. And the one thing I love, and we'll start to wrap it up, the one thing that social media does is it levels out the playing field, right? It really does. Everyone and anyone now has the opportunity to build a brand. Like I mentioned before, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. Look, there's an 8-year-old right now on YouTube that makes about $15 million a year opening up toys, okay?
I know my grandson watches them.
There you go.
There you go. He's 8 years old, making almost, probably, I think he actually last year made over $50 million, okay? Opening up toys.
And he was pissed.
Okay.
That wasn't $1 million a week.
Yeah,
Like Jordan
so
Belfort.
that's the way you have to look at
He
it.
had a client buy a house and he made all his money from YouTube.
Yeah, but like
He couldn't even buy the house. He had to
Yeah.
cook it because he was under 18.
yeah, but it
amazing.
levels the playing
That's
field.
amazing.
It just levels the playing field. It does not matter. And the great
Mm-hmm.
thing about it is that it gives you an opportunity to share, like everything that you just shared right here. Obviously, some of it you can't talk about, but everything
Mm-hmm. But a
that you
lot
just said.
you
You
can.
see loan officers that put out the wrong information.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what you could do? You can get on social media and go and literally say, if you're watching another loan officer's content and he says this, well, he's flat out wrong. This is the way it's done.
Or you can do your example where you said, if someone's $500,000 and whatever, the 90% thing, you can get on your story, do a poll about it, ask the question, what do you think the answer is? And then the next story could be, this is the answer and here's why. And then you can DM every single person that messaged on the poll that got it wrong and try to connect with those
I
realtors.
think, guys, I literally, for you guys, because they're absolutely right. I mean, I got to do this myself. I watched the podcast last night with Jordan Belfort and Ed Milet.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
of
watched
course.
both of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the question was, what's the top? It's either the top 3 things or top 5 things an entrepreneur must do. Social media, it's a must.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a must.
Today's
You
day,
have
it's
to.
a must right now.
You have to share what you know. Yeah, go ahead.
And
My daughter is a perfect example of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
She started a little skincare business. Forget it. She took off. She created something, and she does all her social media herself.
Yep.
It's amazing.
She's too busy.
It's great.
She's 1.7 million followers.
that's amazing. Good for her.
On
TikTok?
TikTok.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She's global now.
That's
It's
great.
a-
That's
but-
amazing. That's the power of
She'll
it.
be
It's
she'll be
amazing.
paying. You won't be working in a year. Like that's how quickly it happens.
Nicole, what are you? What? You talking to me?
Doing whatever, pretending to be 2 people.
Do
if
it.
that's you, do it.
Yeah.
If that's not you, just
do it.
because it's working for that person
mean do it.
does not mean it's going to work for you, right? So you have to understand that social media is for everybody. Look, there's a right way of doing it, but there is a wrong way of doing it, if that makes sense. You have to figure out what's going to work for you. What type of people do you want to attract? Because what you do put out to the world is what you're going to get in return, right? If you want to, like, I love using the story. I had someone reach out. This was a while ago. You'll remember who this is. He got on a phone call about content, talking about what we're going to do for him, and then he hits me with, oh, so who rents the cars? And I'm like, what do you mean who rents the cars? He goes, well, do you guys rent the Range Rover, the Lamborghinis, and all that stuff? I go, well, the cars that we drive, we own. He goes, well, what if I want to get a Lambo or a Ferrari for the shoot? I'm like, well, we don't do that because something that we teach, and this goes to authentic branding, right? And I'll get into something else about that. So authentic branding. He goes, well, money attracts money. I go, let me give you a scenario. All of a sudden, you want to do a photo. So I go, let's say you want to do a photo shoot with a Lamborghini, right? Great. We do the photo shoot. Boom, boom, snap some photos. You put it on your Instagram. Now, all of a sudden, you're saying money attracts money, right? The guy that owns the Lamborghini sees it. He reaches out and says, hey man, love your car. What year is it? Let's grab a cup of coffee. Let's go to a car meetup. All of a sudden now, you have to then either go and rent that car, or you better show up to that meeting and park down the street because they're going to meet you and sniff out bullshit. If you own a Lambo or Ferrari, you know if someone rented it, right? If someone pulled up with Florida plates and you live in fucking New York, right? So those are things. You have to be authentic to who you are. Don't put out things that aren't you. That's the worst thing that you can do. And another thing is, please be careful with editing your photos and things of that such, right? And the reason why I say this, and this is the honest truth, and I'm not trying to like hurt feelings here, but if you're gonna take a photo of yourself, yes, I understand removing blemishes and removing pimples and maybe if your hair straggling. So the big thing is Facetune and stuff. The reason why we say try to avoid those things, men or women, is because it comes back to being authentic. Okay? If you are who you are, embrace it, love yourself. If you want to make a change that's you internally, you figure that out. But if you're going to put something out to the world that's not you, and then someone sees you, right? It's like you catfish them. Okay?
That's like when you go to a listing and You have to, their card is like from 20 years ago, and you go and you're like,
Yep.
No,
Who are
the
you?
best. No, the best.
100%, yeah.
Hold on. In your industry, this happens all the time, and I know you guys can all attest to this. You have a client who's a buyer. They find a home that they want, they see it online, they send it to you. They're like, hey John, I saw this home, it's in Armonk, it's beautiful, I want to go see it. You go to the home, the fucking house is a disaster.
Oh, yes.
How many times does that happen? And then now you show up and the person's like, well, the photos look so good. That is just the same. And now the agent that was listing that home, guess what you're going to do? You're going to write them off and you're never going to trust them again.
Actually, there's been a few agents that have gotten sued.
There you go.
For photoshopping.
Okay, so you don't want to get sued, but better yet, look, you might want to take the fine, but you don't want, and you don't want to kill your reputation. So it's the same thing when you go in and release content. Okay, look, I'm 5'8" on a good day. I would love to be 6'4". I can't make myself taller. If I made myself taller and then you met me and you went like this, you'd be like, what? You online, you're 6'4". You know, so it's the same way if you're changing the way you look and alter the way you look. So that's a big thing to remember. But at the end of the day, I guess like my closing statement, and I'll let Tony finish, is that social media levels the playing field. Get on it now, because eventually there's so many people that are going to corral to it. It's still brand new, because if you start creating content for social media, we like to say you become a 1%er, because the majority of people that are on social media are the people that maybe have 4 or 5 posts. You know, you said you use yourself as an example. You know, you have 4 or 5 posts, maybe 200-300 followers. You follow about 300 to 600 people, and all you do is scroll all day. And you're consuming, and you're watching, and you're digesting content, and you're making decisions, and you're making judgments every single day. You become a 1%er, you're now putting yourself in front of those people who then eventually are going to reach out. So levels the playing field, build your brand, take over your market, and guess what? You're going to become an authority, and you're going to open up so many different avenues for yourself.
Thank you so much.
Pass around our cards.
I was going to say, you have cards?
Of course.
Reach out to Tony. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
I get it.
You're just not going to put out more content than me. We do social media.
You need to have everyone knowing that you're in real estate.
Everything ties together. It's all correlated. Offline branding, online branding, piecing everything together.
Are you willing to put yourself out there? I have Why Not You tattooed on my wrist.